all things Social Security disability. I put the first one up yesterday. I'll have the other one, part two, up tomorrow about filing for disability, CDRs, all the rest of it. So continuing to build a resource, hundreds of videos, a resource for y'all out there on all things disability, retirement, survivor benefits, spousal benefits, Medicare, Medicaid. That way, when I shuffle off this mortal coil, you'll have a nice resource to go for. Make sure you're making the right decisions in all those departments. So I'll just hang out here for about 30 minutes. This is an impromptu live, and I do these every now and then. So if you're listening to this later, make sure you subscribe. And one of the big things I get is people try to find me. They don't have a question when they find my channel, and then so they don't subscribe or anything, and then later, a week later, a month later, someone close to them, friends, family, whoever, have a question, and it's like, oh, where was that strange dude that used to work for Social Security? How can I find his? And it takes them forever to find me again. So make sure you subscribe, and that way, you won't run into that issue. So, all right, got some people up there. Everybody, press like. Hey, Linda from Southern California, SoCal. I was stationed at El Toro, California before they closed it down. My first duty station in the Marine Corps. All right, let's see. Where can I find my payment of 62 if I start collecting at 62 and keep working? All right, let me see. How can I find my Social Security payment at 67 if I start collecting at 62 and keep working? Yeah, so basically, so you started collecting at 62. So basically your benefits are locked in at 62. But if you continue to work and continue to pay into Social Security, and those years are part of your high 35 years, then Social Security automatically recalculates your benefits every year. So, this year, $22,320. So if you work over that, then you're gonna have to pay $1 for every 2 mile. So I was reading 5 miles from El Toro. Oh, okay. Then you have to pay $1 for every $2 you go over. So hopefully you're not, working over that annual amount because you're under your full retirement age. Because if you do, then you're going to get a nasty gram from Social Security. It says, if you go $10,000 over that amount, you're going to owe $5,000. But in terms of calculation, if those are your high years, in terms of calculation, it's all automatic. So you don't have to do anything. You can, to calculate it going forward, it's always tough. Yeah. Plan to make under the limit. Yeah. So it's when you go onto ssa.gov and do the calculator there, it kind of does a future projection estimate based on your most recent work. Like if you go in there, 60 years old, and you say, okay, how much am I going to get at, 62 or 67 or whatever the case may be, then it'll give you a future projection based on your recent work. So if you recently worked, it'll making, 50,000, let's say $50,000. It'll say, okay, we figure you will continue to work making $50,000 for the next 5 years. So when you retire at your full retirement age at 67, this is how much you're going to get. So a lot of people contact me and say, I've got a statement, 10 years ago, it says I was going to get this much, and then I'm not getting that much. What's going on? Well, what happens then? Well, I stopped working. Okay, well, there you go. Yeah, so it's a future estimate. Yeah, 5 miles from El Toro. Yeah, I work for the Baba Black Sheep, VMA 214, the Wake Island Avengers there. El Toro Marine Corps Air Station. So, yeah. So about 22K. Yep. So that's good. Yeah, work, collect your Social Security benefits, stay under the limit, and you're good. So if you go over the limit a little bit, you don't have to freak out necessarily. Some people, what they do is they say, okay, I'm going to make, 24,000. And, to stop your benefits, that's always, dangerous with, the Social Security computer system that was, developed in the 1970s. Yeah, you might confuse it. So what people do is they just, okay, I'm not going to have to pay $500 back, next April. So they just put that in the bank, and when you get the nasty gram about you owe us $500, you just send it off. And that way, you don't have to call, hey, I'm going to go over this month, I'm going to go over that month, and yada, 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 and all this kind of stuff. So, yeah. Everybody, please like. So, goes up. And like I said, I just put a video up there on disability, kind of an introductory video on the entire series, but also talks about, insured status and currently insured status and all the rest of it. So I'm going to try to walk through the entire program with everybody out there that's looking to file for disability, or those are already on disability, make sure they do everything correctly so Social Security doesn't harass them. Like I used to have to harass people all the time when I ran the third busiest Social Security office in the country. So I know all the places people make mistakes, and Social Security doesn't do a very good job of, they tell people, but people don't understand the Social Security language. So that's why I'm doing all these crazy videos trying to make all of the policies, the 20,000 plus pages of policies, easier to understand. So if you want me to keep doing this, like and subscribe and buy me a beer or coffee, it'd be awesome. Appreciate it. Let's see, Jim, is there a big difference in collecting between 62 or 63 if going to keep working and replace the few years that I made nothing in my Social Security history? So yeah, usually waiting each month, I've done this a few 100,000 times doing taking retirement claims, and usually, waiting a month is, $7-10 more or something. So if you say, okay, let me start in January, it'll be, 1,007. Okay, let me start in February, and then it'll be, 1,000. So usually it's not, but taking that, $5, $6, $7, $8 a month and projecting that out over, you're going to live another 50 years. That's, I guess that's quite a bit of money. So, it's always best to, again, all these videos out there with everybody saying, how to maximize your Social Security. And, most of the time it's just, just clickbait, and it says maximize your, don't collect, wait. But there's so many variables, Social Security employees used to, give kind of recommendations on that, but then, it was decided that we shouldn't, so we stopped. But we used to say, it depends a lot on your financial situation, and probably more importantly, something that nobody knows is, your kind of your family history, your health. If everybody in your family lives to 100 years old, then it might be a good idea to wait as long as you possibly can. And again, as long as you possibly can. So if you need the money now, then you need the money now. And there is no, a unique, calculation, calculus that you have to do to figure out whether when you should start. Should I start today or next year? Well, I need the money now. Well, there you go. That's the decision. Yes, thumbs up, please. Yes, appreciate it. Yes. Thank you, Edwina. You're always there looking after me. I appreciate it. One day I'll get good at this YouTube thing. I'll never get good at editing. I do my own editing, so sometimes you watch my video and says, wow, you kind of cut off mid-sentence there. Anyway, it's usually because I say something stupid. I try to be funny. And usually when I'm trying to be funny, I only entertain myself, so there you go. And I'm like, yeah, nobody's going to get this joke. I got that old Marine Corps humor, so it's kind of dark humor sometimes. So people are like, someone might get offended, but yeah, someone always gets offended. So what are you going to do? All right. Any other questions out there? Yeah, I always check, kind of what's going on out there in social media. God, yeah, there's so much clickbait today. On, President Biden signed this one thing. Every Social Security people are going to get another $2,000 and yada yada yada. And there's YouTube channels out there, more money coming, and wow, there's just so much clickbait out there. When I worked at Social Security, people used to call in and come in all the time and says, "Yeah, I saw on the news that we're getting this extra check. I didn't get it." And it's like, yeah, it's again those social media. I wish they would just shut up, to be honest, because they're making it hard for everybody. Because so many people go into Social Security offices and call the Social Security office because some stupid thing, someone's trying to get you to click their YouTube channel or whatever. And so they tell you some outrageous thing about checks are coming and this, that, and the other. And then those people call Social Security or go down to the Social Security office and they make the wait times worse for everybody. So you clickbaiters out there, stop it, please, 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 please. Anyway, um, can a person file on, collect, or has to go? Yeah, you can file online. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Let's see. I think I missed a couple here. I started collecting the Social Security Widow's benefit when I turned 62. I'll be turning 65 in June. I've heard say that maybe other benefits available. Yeah, so make sure you check my 4-part series on how to live, on Social Security alone. And I've like close to 50 different programs out there that hopefully make your life easier. But yeah, so you're receiving widow's benefit, so you haven't collected on your own, possibly. So make sure, yeah, hopefully, see if there's any more money on your record. So give Social Security a call and say, hey, if you haven't collected on your own, how much is it now? And obviously, once you hit 67, after 67, you'll get the delayed retirement credit. So it's 8% increase every year. So that's a beautiful thing. All right, Linda, I'm still working, but from home. Requested a work accommodation under the ADA. My employer doesn't like it. I broke my hip. Have autoimmune arthritis. Can I apply for Social Security disability? Yeah, yeah. If you, as I talk about in my video, there's insured and there's currently insured. So if you worked 5 out of the last 10 years, doesn't matter whether it was home or wherever the case may be, then you are currently insured. And if you work for 10 years, then you're insured. Yeah, if whatever condition you have is making you unable to work, then yeah, you can definitely file and make sure you stay tuned for my entire series. It goes through the entire process, what to watch out for, and all the rest of it. Um, but one of the key is, as I talked about in the first video, is you have to. A lot of people used to come in and they want to file for disability, and the first question is, okay, is your disability going to last 12 months or longer? Yes, it is. Okay. When did you last work? Well, I'm currently working and I'm making $3,000 a month. Well, then sorry, yeah, you can't file. So when you stop working or stay under the SGA, substantial gainful activity, which is what, 1550, $1,550 this year, then you can file. All right, Michael Green. My wife is 59. She has been disabled for 20 plus years. Sorry to hear that. I'm 61 with really good income and insurance. What sort of Social Security benefits exist or will exist for her, and when? Has she already filed for disability? Well, she's been disabled for 20 years, so she probably hasn't worked. So you're 61, so yeah, you probably won't file anytime in the near future because you have good income and good insurance and all that kind of stuff. So Yeah, eventually when you do file, if she's not insured for Social Security, then yeah, you're 61, so that'll probably be what, 6 years or something like that. And by that time, yeah, she'll just file for spouse benefits, so she can collect up to half of what you will receive. And then she'll also be able to get Medicare. If she's not insured on her own record, then she'll be able to get Medicare on yours when she hits 65. Is it true the average turnaround time to claim Social Security disability is 3 years? No, no, that's I talked about that in the video about the scare tactics, and so much scare tactics out there. Um, are there cases that take 3 years for it? Yes, absolutely. But as I point out in the video, I've taken claims, and person had a terrible car accident. I took their application at 10 o'clock in the morning. Um, Before I left for the day, their claim was approved, or the next day. It's yeah, they've got this algorithm that picks out the real severe cases. The ones that take more time, more nuanced, more gray area, yeah, those take 3, 6, 9 months to get a initial decision. So the initial decision, and then once you're denied for the initial, then you can file reconsideration, and that is in part 3 of my ongoing series on disability. I sound like a news person or something, but yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I talk about the entire uh, thing of initial and recon and all that stuff. So dun, dun, dun. Let's see what else here. I'm 60 and a half years old. What are the chances I'd be approved for disability? Yeah, no one knows. It really depends on your disability, your age. It's usually easier. I'm going to do on that. It's called the grid rules. I'm going to do a video on that. That's kind of complicated. I'll probably spend a few hours mapping out the 20-minute video on the grid rules, and probably only 3 people will watch it because it's too confusing. They'll click on it, and then they'll say, "Wow, this is too confusing." I'll just So anyway, sorry, I'm a U.S. permanent resident, not a citizen. If I return to my home country, is my Social Security entitlement the same as if I remain? Yeah, it really depends. Go on to the Social Security website. If you are legal, have the green card and everything, then you can go ahead and file for benefits to keep those benefits. And if you're living overseas, then you have to go. It depends on the particular country you go to and everything, because some countries have kind of contracts, totalization agreements with Social Security, the U.S. government, and so some places you can, some places you can't. So there's a tool. It's getting your benefits while overseas. So click that in SSA, go to ssa.gov and getting your benefits while overseas, and it'll come up with a pretty awesome little screening tool. I really need to do a video on expats. I get so many people are bailing this country and to go and where they can live on $1,500. Yeah, I really got to do one on expats. All right. Everybody, please click the like button. Press that like button. Please. Let's see. Were you saying before that Social Security system is so outdated that it confuses it when you take the Social Security and then decide to withdraw? I'm considering taking Social Security for a living, get a better job than withdraw. Yeah, in that case, that's a manual action. Yeah, so you're doing, and you're going to pay everything back, and it's going to be like you never applied. So in that case, that's just a one-time deal. So that's not too bad, except for when you go to local office, they don't, the employees in that office probably get that type of request 5 times a year. So it's not something they do on a regular basis. So they'll probably have to look at the policy and go talk to someone and they might mess it up, and because they can't do it at the local office, they have to do it at the payment center, and yeah, so it's yeah, you just have to understand that it's going to be a difficult process, but you can do it. Eventually, it will get done. They'll mess it up maybe once or twice, or hopefully they won't, but eventually it'll be corrected, and you'll get what you want. So, but it'll be frustrating in the process. Sorry, it's just not many people do it. So they've again 20,000 pages of policy, and employees don't know all of it. All right, let's see. Yeah, I don't have access to email right now. My mother paid Social Security for years and worked her whole life and passed on after taking Social Security for only a couple of years, Sally. She was single. Why doesn't the government allow her children to have it? Yeah, for children under the age of 18 or disabled before the age of 22, then yes. How much time do I have to pay everything back? Yeah, so it's only a year thing. So it sounds like you are trying to withdraw your application. You're a mulligan, a do-over, where so you can only do that within the first year. So yeah, calculate your benefits and figure out how much you got that entire time. And obviously, it's yeah, so it takes time. Yeah, how much time do I have to pay? Oh, okay, I think I might have read that wrong. So yeah, I mean, it has to be paid back within the year. So you can't set up a payment plan or anything like that. You're basically saying you want to withdraw the whole thing. So in order for the withdrawal to take effect, then Social Security needs to be paid in full. So immediately, as soon as you say, and they do the calculations and say, okay, you received, $10,000 over the last year, and you want to pretend like it never happened, pull out your checkbook and write us a check for $10,000. We were all adults when my mom passed, so thank you for the answer. Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, they don't even get the the lump sum death benefit, which only $255. So, but still. All right. Social Security system in Somalia. Yep, sorry. Let me see if I miss anybody. Please press the like button there. I'll stick on here for a few more minutes. See if there's any other questions. I'm going to be doing another video here on the 5 top regrets retirees have. Because I've helped millions of people out when I worked at Social Security and through here, and talked to hundreds of thousands of people when they're about to retire or retired or survivors, and me being me, I usually spend a couple minutes talking to them about their life and stuff like that, and so I've heard a lot of people's regrets and all kinds of other things too. So I figured I'd just put a list together of the top 5 things I remembered people telling me the most in terms of regrets. So I'm going to put that out there. Linda, thank you very much. I am learning a lot before I apply. Yeah, awesome. Appreciate it. You're welcome. You're welcome. Make sure you like, and you can buy me a coffee down there and all that kind of good stuff if you're so inclined. Should you retire at 62 or 67? Yeah, that's the $1 million question. So many variables. It depends on your work. If you need the money, 62. If you need the money and you're not working, then 62. If you don't need the money and you're working, then 67. If you're healthy, then 67. So yeah, so many variables. Thank you for answering about claiming abroad. My focus is more on the fact I am a permanent resident. If I leave the U.S., I would be definition lose that status. That is why I'm asking. Yeah, yeah, that also depends on your particular country. Some, as long as you apply and you have proof of, your U.S. citizenship or your, legal status in the United States, green card or whatever, then you can start your benefits. Keeping your benefits afterwards, that really depends on the agreement the United States has with your particular country. So yeah, it's very country specific. So make sure you check that out. That's why a lot of people say, oh, all these, illegals, undocumented, whoever are getting all these Social Security benefits. Well, they're not getting Social Security. They might be getting, your state welfare or something, but they don't get Social Security because they have to prove their U.S. citizenship when they apply, or their legal status, a green card or whatever. And then when we get a green card, we have to send it to immigration, and they have to confirm that it's in fact, a valid green card. So was it the G845, I think, is the form that we have to send for that. Yeah, I still remember the forms. Can you do a video on working and collecting taken early plus and minus? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I've done that within a bunch of videos. I did that on my early retirement video. But I think, I agree. I think I need to do a separate video on that. And again, after I do this disability series, which should be about 6 or 7 or 8 different videos, then I'm going to do one on retirement and early retirement and retirement, delayed retirement and everything. And that'll include in that. So absolutely, I got my work cut out for me here. My aunt provided an inheritance for several of us. It was paid about 2 years ago. Let's see here. There's more inheritance, but the IRS won't let go of it. Okay. Yeah, I can't help with IRS stuff. I've been trying to cancel my subscription with the IRS for decades, and but if you're talking about Social Security, collecting Social Security, and you have money coming in from an inheritance, then that doesn't count as work. If you file for early retirement or disability or something, SSDI, then an inheritance has no relevance whatsoever. So not an issue. And I did a short on, a lot of people ask me, oh, I'm receiving SSDI and I just won, scratchers or lottery or something. And no, it doesn't affect your retirement or anything like that. Unless you're a professional gambler. If your job is to gamble, you're a poker player or something like that, then that is considered work. So, Benita, if you were married 10 years, divorced, and then remarried, can you file on X if he would have a higher amount than your current disabled husband? I'm turning 65 in April, but X is 64. Okay. And then remarried. So if you remarried after, yeah, I just did a video on this. Check out my video because there's so many different exceptions on there, whether your current husband is receiving benefits or not. Is your previous husband still alive? And this is one of the things that all those social media people out there, they, cover in 2 seconds, and unfortunately, a lot of people lose money because of it, because it's very complicated. And in this type of thing, there's exceptions to exceptions. So make sure you watch my video I just did on spouse benefits, and it gets into all of the craziness. So even if he hasn't filed, but you're currently married, so you wouldn't be able to file as an independently entitled divorced spouse. Yeah. And then, there's the 1 year rule, which you should probably heard. You can't get benefits from your current husband until you were married for 1 year, but there's an exception to that. So make sure you watch my videos, because I hate to give you an incorrect answer. But the final thing is, on all of that, as I mentioned, if you watch my video and it looks like you might be entitled, call Social Security and schedule an appointment and tell you on a file. And the issue is when you call them, the person on the phone probably doesn't know the exceptions to the exceptions to the exceptions. So they'll probably say, no, because you're currently remarried, and they don't read the sub paragraphs of that particular policy. So you might have to fight a little bit to get an appointment. And you can tell them, okay, say something like, okay, I understand that you think I'm not entitled, but I need a letter that says, I need an official letter that I'm not entitled. And then when you actually go, you talk to a higher level employee and they can run the claim and they can check out how the policy applies in your specific situation, because it is complicated. I'm 65 and disabled. If I remarry, will I lose my widow's benefits and my partner's disabled too? Yeah, same type of thing I just talked about. If you remarry, no, widow's benefits, no, on that one. That's pretty much cut and dry on that one. If you're receiving widow's survivor benefits and you remarry after 60, you're good. Linda, so if I understand correctly, I'd have to stop working in order to apply for SSDI. I earn way over the limits for disability. Hard decision to stop working. Social Security defines disability as the inability to work. So if you're working, that means you're not disabled. I understand, you're working through your disability, but Social Security has to draw that line there. It's like the guy that started Social Security, a guy named FDR. He was in a wheelchair, had polio, and considered disabled, but Social Security would deny him because he was working as president. So thank you. A lot of hearts going up there. Please click like button, like. Thanks for all your help. Buy you a coffee. Oh, you're too awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Get my coffee IV. I would say buy me a beer sometimes, but even in the Marine Corps, they call me one beer Weir. I'm such a lightweight. After one beer, I'm out. So I don't know. Yeah. Let's see. I am single and get probably SSDI, $14 per month. Do I have to file my taxes? Yeah, that's I really don't do IRS type stuff. There's just so many variables in there, and but yeah, there's. I would call somebody. There are free services in most areas that'll give you a heads up on that. But I've had many people tell me that with a lower income, you don't even have to file. But I would double check because you might have to file your state income taxes. So the federal and the state. So if you're going to go and have to file your state, might as well ask about the federal too. Yeah, Benita, I've got oh gosh, I get hundreds of emails a day and messages, and unfortunately, when I first started off this, I was doing a lot of one-on-ones, calling people and stuff like that. But between doing these live, that's why I started doing these live, so I can answer more people at the same time. Yeah, unfortunately, I just don't have the time in my semi-retirement to call. Yeah. Thank you for your service. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, we're getting all kinds of strange. The kids are still awake. Someone says they love my hair. That's all right. I'm going to take that at face value, and I'm going to say you're welcome. Thank you. Even though I know it's anyway. Wow, I was only going to be on here for 30 minutes, and it's already 35. So let's see here, and we got all the kids showing up here. So I think we'll call it a day. And all right, so that's my impromptu live answering your questions for today. Make sure you're subscribe and like and all that kind of good stuff. So this information, 70 million people are on Social Security, and I've only got what 30,000 subscribers. So we're missing a lot of people out there. Texas here. Thank you for sharing your knowledge, sir. Yeah. I went to high school in Paris, Texas. And yes, we do have an Eiffel Tower in Paris, Texas. And yes, it does have a cowboy hat on top of it. Yes, it's a beautiful thing. Mary Fitzpatrick. All right, do one more question. What is better at 63, using your 401k or starting Social Security? Yeah, that's too much variables there. Oh, yeah, that's what a lot of people do. They start using their 401k. So I guess you have to figure out how much you're getting on your 401k. And one thing I recommend personally, I'm not a financial advisor in that, area. Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. Ah, thank you. Awesome. Thank you very much. But one thing I would recommend is the closer you get to retirement, the more you put your money into really, really, really safe places. Because again, from my experience, talking to hundreds of thousands of people, and they had, I had a really good 401k until last year when the economy dived. So, you can kind of run the numbers like that. It says, okay, my 401k is a really safe place right now, but it's really boring, and I don't get that much, 4% return or whatever. But Social Security, if I wait, every year it increases 6% and whatever, 7%. And then after you hit your full retirement, it increases 8% per year. So you have to kind of figure out that. So, well, maybe I should take some cash there and wait for, a better return on Social Security, 8% or so. So yeah, you have to kind of play with those numbers. I'm putting together a team of kind of fee-based financial advisors throughout the country. Because I get a lot of these questions, and the reason fee-based is I don't want them, trying to sell you, this product or that product or something. So they just you pay them and they give you advice, and it's completely neutral. And so, yeah, I'm working on that. So, all righty. That's it for today. No joke, stay safe. Lots of crooks, easy start. Yep. All right. Y'all have a great day. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.